Kevin has been singing your praises all over town for this season.
Is that right?
Yep.
I paid him off.
Is this your favorite season so far?
Oh yeah, hands down. I knew it would be, not to be, presumptuous, but I mean, it was just kind of like, my favorite, it's so kind of different, like, it's so black and white, it's like, there's things that I love so much about season 1, season 2, there's scenes that are just like monumentally important to me, but as far as sheer enjoyment level, selfishly, yeah.
You've been waiting for this stuff for a long time.
Although I will say this, and I have to forewarn audiences and viewers, it's a journey. It's not like we're just going to find Stefan and he's like, just this entirely, swanky, debonair, no remembrance of his losses, his old self. Like he's kind of fighting demons still. So there is, darkness enveloping him for a little bit.
There's still that Stefan guilt.
A little bit, but it sort of starts fading as the episodes continue.
The first time I ever interviewed you, we were talking so much about like Stefan's virtue and his loyalty, and you were you were like, I'm done with that. I'm over it. Like I want to see Stefan.
No. Every story needs to have a protagonist, but every story's protagonist needs to be multi-layered, and every story's hero needs to have flaw. There's no such thing unless we're watching, a cartoon. It's an archetype. But if it's a functional television series, especially one that is potentially going to go for 6 years, we need to have hills and valleys.
6 years? I need at least twice that many.
So long my contract is.
What's the most challenging part of this season for you?
Getting. I guess it hasn't been the most challenging thing for me, but putting on these new shoes, so to speak, of Stefan, it's different. Sort of doing a scene with the characters that I've used to doing scenes with from episodes 1 and 2. You have sort of a disposition and a certain dynamic with them as actors. So it's interesting for me to approach something differently and look at a character that I've known for 2 years and look at them in a completely different way. For example, with Damon, there's not even remotely intimidated, not even remotely impressed, not scared. It's so funny, you look at season 1 and I'm like, it's like the first time I ever see Damon, I'm like, Damon, and now I'm like, yeah, hey Damon, you, right, whatever. What was that? It's like, it's a much different approach. So challenging, but great.
What about with Elena as everything? I mean, I know when we start the season, sort of Stefan and Klaus are out of Mystic Falls, but there's no spin-off, so you kind of assume that you're kind of coming back soon.
Right. Did you just say there's no spin-off? Because we're developing a...
Excuse me, let me get my pen.
A spin-off for Klaus and Stefan, but it's going to be a comedy.
Oh.
It's like The Odd Couple. Klaus will be living in an apartment.
Klaus, did you get blood on the couch again?
Klaus is like, Stefan's the messy one. Klaus is like, pick up your, use a coaster.